Have you ever wondered why certain patterns repeat everywhere you look? From the spirals of galaxies to the curl of a seashell, from the branching of trees to the veins in your own hand, there is a hidden order woven into reality. It is not random, not chaos, but something deeper, more mysterious: mathematics. Not the kind you struggled with in school, scribbled on blackboards and textbooks, but a living mathematics, a language of the universe that shapes everything we see, touch, and feel. This hidden mathematics is not just about numbers, it is about existence itself. Imagine for a moment that reality is a vast symphony, and mathematics is the sheet music. Every star, every atom, every heartbeat is playing its part according to patterns and rhythms, written into the fabric of the cosmos. We may not always see it, but once you begin to notice, the illusion of randomness begins to dissolve, and a profound truth reveals itself. Behind the chaos, there is harmony. Behind the visible, there is structure. Behind life itself, there is mathematics. Take the Fibonacci sequence 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and so on, where each number is the sum of the two before it. At first glance, it's just a neat little trick of numbers. But look closer, and you'll see it everywhere. In the spiral of sunflower seeds, in the arrangement of pine cones, in the curve of hurricanes, even in the DNA spiral inside your cells. This sequence is not simply a curiosity. It is a universal blueprint. Nature seems to use it as a kind of cosmic signature, a whisper reminding us that there is an intelligence woven into creation. And then there is the golden ratio, that mysterious proportion of approximately 1.618. Artists, architects, and philosophers have been obsessed with it for centuries, calling it the divine proportion. Why? Because it appears to be the balance point between beauty and function. The Parthenon in Greece was built according to its dimensions. Leonardo da Vinci used it in his art, embedding it into the Vitruvian Man and the composition of his paintings. Even our own bodies reflect it. The ratio of our arms, faces, and even the spacing of our teeth approximate this number. But it's not just in human design. Spiral galaxies, nautilus shells, hurricanes, all of them echo this golden rhythm. The universe seems to favor it, as if beauty itself is born from mathematics. But the mystery deepens further. Consider fractals, patterns that repeat themselves infinitely no matter how far you zoom in or out. A coastline looks jagged from a distance, but zoom closer and you see the same jaggedness, repeating endlessly in smaller and smaller forms. Lightning forks in the sky, rivers branch across the land, lungs expand inside our chest, all of them are fractal patterns. These are not just accidents of nature, they are the fingerprints of mathematics, showing us that reality is built on repetition, self-similarity, and infinite depth. And then there is music, perhaps the most direct way we experience the hidden mathematics of the universe. Every note you hear is a vibration, a frequency measured in numbers. The harmonies that make us feel joy or sadness are mathematical ratios resonating in our ears and bodies. Ancient cultures knew this well. The Greeks spoke of the music of the spheres, believing that the movements of the planets themselves created a cosmic harmony. Modern science has found echoes of this idea: gravitational waves, pulsars beaming rhythmically, stars vibrating like instruments. The universe is not silent. It is singing, and mathematics is its melody. But here is where the mystery becomes truly mind-bending. Mathematics doesn't just describe the universe, it seems to exist before the universe. Physicists have discovered equations that predicted phenomena decades before they were observed. The orbit of planets, the bending of light, the behavior of subatomic particles, all of it was written in mathematics long before humans had the tools to see it. How can this be? Is mathematics something humans invented? Or is it something we discovered, something eternal waiting for us to notice? Some scientists argue that mathematics is the true reality, and everything else, matter, time, even consciousness, is simply its expression. In this view, we do not live in a physical universe sprinkled with math. We live in a mathematical universe where numbers are more real than atoms. This might sound abstract, but think about it. Matter decays, stars burn out, civilizations rise and fall, but the equation 2 + 2 = 4 will remain true forever. Equations are untouchable, eternal, as if they exist in some realm beyond time. If that is so, then perhaps the universe itself is nothing more than a grand unfolding of mathematical truth. And if mathematics is the hidden architecture of reality, then to study it is not merely to learn numbers, it is to peer into the mind of the cosmos. Every spiral, every ratio, every fractal is a window into something greater. You are surrounded by it, shaped by it, even made of it. The atoms in your body dance to equations. Your heartbeat keeps time with rhythms. Your very thoughts fire in patterns of electrical impulses, obeying hidden laws of proportion and resonance. Whether you realize it or not, you are living mathematics. Throughout history, civilizations have intuited that mathematics is not just a human tool, but a universal truth. Ancient builders, artists, and mystics embedded mathematical codes into their creations, believing they were aligning with the deeper order of the cosmos. Even before modern science, people sensed that numbers held a sacred power, a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Take the pyramids of Egypt. Their proportions are not arbitrary. The Great Pyramid at Giza encodes the golden ratio in its dimensions as well as the number pi. Some researchers even argue that the pyramid reflects the northern hemisphere of Earth, scaled down in stone. Was this by chance, or did the ancient Egyptians somehow understand that geometry itself is a key to unlocking the secrets of the universe? To them, mathematics was not separate from spirituality. It was the language of the gods. Travel across the world to the temples of India, and you'll see similar mysteries. Many ancient Hindu temples are designed according to precise mathematical formulas. Their layouts are based on mandalas, geometric diagrams symbolizing the universe. The symmetry, the ratios, the repetition of forms are not merely aesthetic choices. They are expressions of cosmic order, built into stone. Entering such a temple is not only a spiritual act, it is stepping into a living equation, a sacred fractal designed to tune the human mind into harmony with the cosmos. The same is true in ancient Greece. Philosophers like Pythagoras believed that numbers were the ultimate reality. To them, geometry and ratios were not abstract. They were divine principles woven into all things. Pythagoras and his followers studied musical harmonies and discovered that simple numerical ratios created beauty in sound. A string half the length of another produced a note exactly an octave higher. This was not coincidence. It was proof that the laws of mathematics governed the physical world. To them, studying numbers was not just science, it was worship. But perhaps the most striking example of hidden mathematics is the way it has been found encoded in sacred texts and traditions. The Hebrew Kabbalah assigns numbers to letters, creating a system where words and names resonate with numerical patterns. In Islamic art, sacred geometry weaves across mosques and manuscripts, endless tessellations of stars and patterns that reflect the infinite nature of creation. In Christianity, the use of the number 3 symbolizes the Trinity, while 12 recurs in the Apostles, the tribes of Israel, the months of the year. These traditions may differ in form, but they all point to the same intuition. Numbers are not just quantities, they are symbols of reality's deepest truths, and modern science has only reinforced this sense of mystery. The universe itself seems to be written in mathematical code. Physicists describe the laws of nature using elegant equations that can often fit on a single page. Einstein's formula, Edelborg's MC2, reduced the relationship between energy and mass to just 3 characters. Maxwell's equations for electromagnetism are short enough to memorize, yet they describe the dance of light across the universe. Why is reality so perfectly expressible in numbers? Why should abstract symbols on paper map so precisely onto the behavior of stars and atoms? Some scientists argue that this is the greatest mystery of all. The Nobel Prize-winning physicist Eugene Wigner once called it the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics. Why should mathematics, invented in the human mind, describe the universe so flawlessly? Is it possible that mathematics was not invented at all but discovered? That when we write equations, we are not creating truth but uncovering something eternal? And here lies a profound possibility. Maybe the universe is not simply mathematical in structure, it is mathematics. The patterns we see in nature are not evidence of mathematics shaping matter from the outside. They are evidence that matter itself is mathematics, that reality itself is number in motion. In this view, when a flower blooms into a spiral or a snowflake crystallizes into a perfect 6-fold pattern, it is not obeying mathematics, it is mathematics. The beauty we see is not an accident, it is the face of truth. This changes the way we see ourselves, because if the universe is mathematical, then so are we. The rhythm of your heartbeat, the fractal branching of your veins, the spiraling of your DNA, these are not just biological processes. They are mathematical symphonies playing out inside your body. Your thoughts themselves are patterns of electrical signals, firing in rhythmic codes. To be human is to be an expression of mathematics, a living equation walking the earth. And when you realize this, the boundary between science and spirituality begins to dissolve. Numbers are no longer cold and lifeless. They are alive, radiant, pulsing with meaning. Geometry is no longer abstract, it is sacred. Equations are no longer mere tools, they are revelations. The ancients knew this, and perhaps it is time we remembered it again, because hidden within the numbers is something more than knowledge. It is a message. A reminder that we are not adrift in chaos, but participants in a deeper harmony. That every breath you take, every step you walk, Every beat of your heart is part of a universal rhythm, written in a language older than stars. And if we listen closely enough, perhaps we can hear it. We've seen how ancient cultures intuited the presence of mathematics in the world. But modern science has revealed even deeper layers of the mystery. When we peer into the smallest particles, or look out into the vast cosmos, mathematics continues to appear, as if the universe cannot help but reveal its hidden code. One of the most fascinating discoveries of the 20th century was chaos theory. On the surface, chaos looks random, like the unpredictable swirl of clouds or the rushing motion of a waterfall. But when scientists began to analyze these chaotic systems, they found something astonishing: hidden order. Complex, unpredictable patterns often revealed an underlying mathematical structure. A famous example is the Lorentz attractor, a set of swirling loops that emerge when modeling weather systems. It looks random, yet it follows precise equations. Even more mysterious are fractals. These are shapes that repeat themselves endlessly at different scales. A coastline, for example, looks jagged and irregular. But zoom in closer, and the pattern repeats. Small bays resemble larger bays. Small peninsulas resemble larger ones. The same is true in the branching of trees, rivers, and even blood vessels in your body. The fractal pattern is not just beauty, it is mathematics expressing itself in nature. Fractals reveal that even the most irregular wild forms in our world are not random at all. They are governed by invisible laws. And what about the quantum world? At the smallest scales of reality, particles behave in ways that seem bizarre, almost magical. They can exist in two places at once. They can instantly influence each other across vast distances, a phenomenon called entanglement. Yet as strange as quantum physics is, it too is described by mathematical equations. Quantum mechanics may be the strangest science ever discovered, but it is also the most precise. Its equations allow us to predict outcomes with extraordinary accuracy, powering everything from lasers to computers. Again, we see the same theme. Reality behaves in mysterious ways, but mathematics always has the key. Some scientists have taken this further. They suggest that the universe might actually be a simulation. Imagine a video game. At first glance, the characters and landscapes look alive. But beneath it all is code, numbers and instructions that give rise to everything you see. Could our universe work the same way? Could space, time, and matter be the surface appearance of a deeper mathematical program? If so, then everything, our thoughts, our emotions, our very existence, would be patterns within this cosmic code. This idea may sound like science fiction, but it's being taken seriously by respected physicists. If mathematics truly underlies everything, then the difference between reality and simulation may be meaningless. Whether we live inside a computer program or not, the fact remains, numbers seem to be the foundation of existence itself. But here's where it gets even more profound. Mathematics doesn't just describe the world, it also predicts it. Long before black holes were ever observed, Einstein's equations suggested they must exist. Long before planets beyond our solar system were discovered, mathematical models hinted they should be there. Again and again, mathematics not only reflects reality, it reveals realities we had not yet imagined. This predictive power suggests that mathematics is not a human invention, but something far greater. If it were only a tool we created, why would it so perfectly align with the universe? Why would it predict things we had never seen? The answer may be that mathematics is the very structure of reality itself, waiting to be uncovered by curious minds. And yet, as deep as we go, there is always more mystery. Consider the fine-tuning problem. The laws of physics depend on constants, numbers like the strength of gravity, the speed of light, or the charge of an electron. If any of these numbers were even slightly different, life as we know it would be impossible. Why do these numbers have the values they do? Did chance set them, or are they evidence of a deeper mathematical harmony? Some scientists speak of a multiverse, countless universes with different mathematical settings. Others suggest that our universe is finely tuned, because life itself emerges only in a cosmos where the numbers are just right. Whatever the explanation, the question remains, why is mathematics so central, so perfect, so mysterious? Even the most brilliant minds admit they do not know. The late physicist Richard Feynman once said, "Why nature is mathematical is a mystery. The fact that it is the miracle, and this miracle surrounds us every day. When you listen to music, you are hearing mathematics in motion, rhythms, ratios, harmonies. When you gaze at a galaxy through a telescope, you are witnessing spirals and curves shaped by gravitational equations. When you hold a seashell and admire its beauty, you are holding a piece of sacred geometry in your hand. Whether we look outward to the stars or inward to the atom, the language is the same. It almost feels as if the universe is inviting us to notice, to pay attention, as if the code is not hidden at all, but shining brightly for anyone who dares to look. Mathematics is not cold or mechanical. It is alive, expressive, even poetic. It is the bridge between the visible and invisible, the known and unknown. And perhaps that's the greatest secret of all, that by learning mathematics, we are not just solving problems. We are listening to the heartbeat of reality itself. So what does all this mean for us, ordinary people living our lives far from the chalkboards of mathematicians or the telescopes of astronomers? It means that whether we realize it or not, we are immersed in a grand design, a living web of numbers and patterns that connects us to everything. Think about it. Every heartbeat you feel is regulated by rhythms that can be expressed in equations. Every breath you take follows the same ratios that govern the tides of the ocean. The neurons firing in your brain, carrying your thoughts and dreams, operate on the same principles of probability that govern the subatomic world. Even the choices you make, though seemingly free and spontaneous, ripple outward like fractals, part of a greater pattern unfolding. This realization can be humbling. It suggests that we are not separate from the universe, but expressions of it. Just as a leaf is part of a tree, and a wave is part of the sea, so too are we expressions of the mathematics that underlies reality. We are equations given flesh, numbers given consciousness. But it can also be empowering. If mathematics is the language of the universe, then learning to see it is like learning to read the cosmic script. Suddenly beauty takes on new meaning. A sunflower is no longer just a flower. It is the Fibonacci sequence blooming in golden symmetry. Our galaxy is no longer just distant stars. It is a spiral equation written across the night sky. Even the ordinary becomes extraordinary when viewed through this lens, and maybe that is the hidden gift of mathematics, not just understanding, but wonder. It invites us to look at the world with fresh eyes, to see the harmony woven into every corner of existence. The fact that human minds can grasp even a fraction of this harmony is astonishing. It raises the question, are we merely observers of the code, or are we also participants in it? Could it be that the universe is not just mathematical, but that we, in discovering mathematics, are fulfilling part of its design? As we close this journey, remember this: the universe may be vast, mysterious, and sometimes overwhelming. But at its heart, it is not chaos, it is order. Not silence, it is music. And every number, every pattern, every equation is part of a greater story, one that includes you. The hidden mathematics of the universe is not just out there, in distant galaxies or abstract theories. It is here, in your heartbeat, in your breath, in your very existence. You are living proof of the code. And that is perhaps the most beautiful equation of all.